maps remain to figure out who is going to become the champion.
Miramar, oh Miramar, what are you going to provide for these players today as they are very, very hungry?
Yeah, man, I think the desk has set us up brilliantly for these last two games. There are some really, really big name teams that are still sitting below that cut line that have just had forgettable day. New Happy 3 points on the day so far. VP only 5, T1 12, Twisted Minds 12 points today. In a do or die situation, you would hope that teams with this much experience, this much talent, would have found their footing a little bit earlier. They're leaving it to the last two. But you know what? At the end of the day, if they make it to the grand final, who cares? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, after yesterday with FaZe and the last stretch to manage to make it into the end there, my heart, I don't know. We're going into another one, it feels like it.
Like Cardiac Kids and FaZe Clan and Cerberus too, actually. I mean, they were both left it to the last game, but they came through. They came through, and we've got we're left to see now if any of these other ones will do the same. As we see a slightly northern plane here. Look at Sonics getting their normal loot path, the old Picado spot. It feels like it's been forever in international play.
This is very, very true. And look, okay, shouldn't be as crazy with water. That's been a very big theme today with a lot of very weird water situations that are going on. And Twisted
I think that's
Minds.
a hot drop with AGG, yeah.
Ooh, AGG, this is bold.
Look at this. Not surprised that if it's going to be anybody at this point, it's going to be AGG. AGG, this is why you don't want to have a team that has swag like Tycon has to have a lead, because they're going to go after whoever they think they don't want to be in that grand final lobby. And unfortunately for you, Twisted Minds, you're the target.
Okay, yes, you can also see the circle has power grid right on the edge. It's a very western circle. We'll get to that in one moment. Twisted Minds already defending up. Molotov going to come out. Slow down the pacing just a bit, but this does mean the fact more information is getting fed over to how the lineup for Twisted Minds being set. Utility coming out, Perfectix trying to stall. Low economy fight all over the place. Swapping in right into this one. It's going to be all about pacing on this. Can we see a holdout for positioning? Tycon is playing off by himself right now, trusting the rest of his teammates to really contain. But look at the reinforcements coming in from Twisted Minds. They're playing the outside wall to the west, trying to swoop in, see if they can sneak in back behind AGG.
Yeah, Perfectix playing his role to perfection right now. Is all his job is to waste their time. Don't let them take you out now. Wait for the boys to come and provide some support. They've come around. They've got the angle. You see Batu looking over and trying to get some more information. They spotted out Sir T, did some damage, didn't get the knock. That will do it, though. Perfectix with the grenade.
Good exchange of information there is some support coming out from the long-range sniping of the ump, trying to see if he can get something out of it. And now, okay, this is a good/bad thing, right? AGG, already great, in a good position. Twisted Minds really need some points, so this could be massive.
Yeah, you saw that split screen, too. We've got another fight breaking out between the Expendables and New Happy. Another team that desperately needs something to go their way, and the Expendables, well, they feel comfortable enough to come after these guys. So apparently that's just the APAC way, man. Once they've gotten their spot secure, let's go after the guys that we don't want to see.
Couple of peeks around, very narrowly dodging death as Perfectix keeps going for a precarious peek every single moment. He hears the footsteps, knows that it's coming, goes for the spray, but he's going to go down. So comes in with a flush just to finish it out with the shotties. All right, Twisted, what are you going to do? Are you going to commit in as everybody from AGG is pretty much around this compound?
Just DBS things as Twisted has arrived. Lou taking the high ground here. Don't know if they know about, I guess Tycon has come and rejoined everybody. Sapao through the window. We already mentioned, obviously, Tycon the superstar, but Sapao has been more than up to the task this game as well.
It's a one-for-one trade as it's going to be the shift in defenders. It was Perfectix holding that second story now, and it's going to be the entirety of the building under control of AGG. This is inside the circle, so it can slow burn a bit. There's no big push, but remember, look at this. Example sitting on, what, 40 bullets right now? This is not a good way to play it.
This is what I was waiting to see, how long this was going to play out, who's going to come in third party. First one there is going to be TSM. BB team just off to the north as well, but they've only got one, so not getting too involved just yet. Meanwhile, the Sandstorm has arrived to the Expendables and New Happy. Great spray from Delwyn as they continue their reign of terror from last game.
New Happy, new sad right now as they are in so much trouble. Expendables just trying to hammer them down, deny any dreams of the grand finals for them, and it is just the worst place to get caught out at.
Last bullet just couldn't land on Ming Ming. Batanvu, he's coming over. He's got the angle. He's going to find one. Easy knock. Long scur, the last one. Just like that, New Happy down again.
The rich get richer as New Happy is in so much trouble to make it into the grand finals. Watching this TSM still maneuvering around what's going on in this position. They're going to shift over to the west. Don't want to be involved in it. This is also a very weird situation with it being right on the edge and a PowerPoint position that a lot of people are going to pass by. We could see if this pops off, anybody that's close could choose to stop in third party at any moment.
Oh man, Twisted. This is just worst case scenario.
Oh,
they are just down to 1, and he's got 10 rounds left for the M16. Woo! Won't even matter as Tycon will find him, and Twisted Minds out in 15th place.
Man, the dominance coming out from AGG and the Expendables. We often have talked about asserting your authority when you get the lead and really just trying to make your own way through this one. This is establishing a destiny for themselves moving into the grand final, saying, okay, let's pick and choose who we do not want to have to deal with, and those two squads were perfect targets.
Well, fortunately for AGG, they're not here to make friends because they're not making any right now by going after TM. They've got Gaming Gladiators just off to their south, but it looks like GG is just kind of looking over in that direction. They're still continuing their rotation. TSM going to do the same, as it looks like AGG will have time to just finish looting up, and they'll make their way in slowly. We see GG, yep, there they are, just continuing on just south of Power Plant. And while all that was going on, Matchroom, a number of teams have made their way into this circle, this first zone, which there's a lot of unplayable there.
I mean, we only have 3 teams playing west of Monte right now. Most of the circle, well, I won't say most of it. I would say about, what, 20-30% of it is going to be an unplayable terrain over into the west. So that means that a lot of these teams are just playing right up against the wall, putting their backs into it in defendable positions.
I will say the one good thing about this circle is that because of all those early fights, we've now lost 10 players from the lobby.
True.
So it's going to actually open up some more space here for some of these teams to play, because you've already removed essentially 2 teams.
Okay, and also, I mean, looking at this, you have to assume that this is going to kind of center around Monte, the El Pozo positions. I know, it just feels the way that this has been going. You know, you want to make the smart play, but we do have a couple of teams like Danawa and Tiamba that might be rotating around there. Luna just going, nope, let's just figure out how we're going to handle what's going on. They're just going to shift out of Pozo. They've got some opportunities over to the west. AGG has managed to make it in the circle. T1's going to be coming in back behind them. Really, our outlier teams are going to be VP in need of a lot of points. Following in right back behind T1 is, is Raining going to spot out that rotation? I mean, not again. Not early game for VP again, is it?
You hope not. You hope not. Well, we actually have a few teams on the south side too. Donawa making a long wrap. And then one more team in green that I could not see before we moved over, but with a few teams making that long wrap off to the south. VP, meanwhile, they are taking their time. They do have T1 just kind of around them as we check the replay here from that Expendables dismantling of New Happy.
I mean, playing along the sandstorm, perfectly positioned into this high ground, feeding information over. They were just caught in the valley. New Happy just had nothing they could do to defend their way out of that. There was minimal vision, trapped in a low ground position.
You know, it's what can you say? It's just been an absolutely brutal tournament for New Happy. You know, they managed to turn things around a little bit in the second half of their day 1, but today just nothing going right. Still, look, 3 points through 5 games. I'm
all about gentlemen's rules and drop locations and all that other stuff, but whenever it comes time to manage to make it in the grand finals, I love what we see AGG doing. I love what the Expendables are doing. They're really making sure that they can set up. And yes, that is hard for Twisted. That is hard for New Happy, but there's still one more game, and any of these teams, anybody on New Happy or Twisted Minds, if they don't manage to make it in qualifiers, they'll say, yeah, the hot drop sucked, but we should have had the points before we got there.
Yeah, there's a lot of money on the line, a lot of PGC points on the line, and these guys are going to do whatever they can to try to secure as many of them as possible and as much of it as possible, so you can't really fault them for doing it. As we see Donawa, they're finally arriving into the southern part of this circle. It looks like the other team that was making their way in was Tiamba, and they're going to be in the very southwestern side. They're going to be on the other side of the valley from this. So the earliest that either one of these two might run into somebody is that bottom half of a 2-2 split from E-Arena.
Yeah, E-Arena is, I mean, I don't even know if you can call it a 2-2. It's almost like a 2-1-1. Is It's so separated out in that lower half.
Very split up.
I mean, Petrichor Road, their positioning is just really, really strong for the circle, and this is a good read on how to play around that area. A lot of our external teams right now, the Expendables, no surprise, given the firefight that they just got into, they're going to be one of the last teams to rotate in. Game Gladiators, they have themselves a pretty good split if this does go a bit more into that northeastern area around Pozo. This is a very strong position to play around as VP getting some information, trying to scout around. And I really like this. This is a great circle for Gliders.
Yeah, no, I mean, as long as you, I don't know what information you're looking for. You're going to find that there's a lot of teams still alive. And, okay, it didn't go as far south as I was thinking it would go, but that's still a pretty good chunk of that circle that's still unplayable. So a number of these teams off to the north going to have to make their way in, and that is a rough road to get in there.
Man, these players just they need to unite and fight against the circle at this point. It has just been mean to them today. So we'll have to see how this line comes out. We've talked about this quite a bit with the way the terrain plays around Monte Nuevo and down to the south. It's very north-south, and given high ground positionings, VP Nixie's going to be coming in, does get spotted by Tycon, but Tycon in a near non-kill. We often see him almost get those.
I thought he had bullet magnets in. I don't think I've seen him miss one yet, but that one not going to land on where it should go. As the rest of VP, I think, are stopping down. They might have realized the Tycon here by himself. And he is, well, he doesn't care. He's just going to go ahead and just F W key right into all of them.
It's Tycon, right? He's just going to step around and say, oh, you want to come to me? That was just bait shots. See, I didn't really kill your teammate a second ago, so you would all come after me. VP wants points, and they are in trouble. They're going after AGG, who has just been so aggressive already inside this round and throughout the day. Glider's going to crash down for VP. They need the support, but it's already spotted out from Tycon. Spray is going to be coming out. Doesn't quite connect. Finally, some retaliation coming back in, but EB's going to go down as well.
Oh, Sapao getting involved too. Is Tycon might have been the distraction, but Sapao is the danger man, as he's going to get 350 damage so far. It's all down to just Lucarux, as the no good, very bad day for VP just continues.
Finally, Lucarux manages to take down Tycon, but it has come at a massive, massive cost. Can he find anything else out here? As Pal's just going to flush out everything around him, continuing to press up. Lucarux, can you read around what's going to be going on? Knows the fact to do the flush a second ago. Going to go with the nade, but no, it's going to be Zest, and VP in some big trouble now.
Yeah, you can see it just
pretty much done.
Written all over their faces, man. They just know. Wondering what could have been. 8 kills for AGG, though. They are on one. And it is not likely that we're going to see them come off of it, because they are playing, I mean, they are just absolutely overflowing with confidence right now. They don't care who it is. They will push anybody in this lobby. This
is the scariest thing that can happen, is Tycon getting more and more confidence brewing around his play and with the squad. You were talking about it coming into this one. I would be terrified at this point. You've already seen them do hot drops. They are just... This is going to be a problem, and I love it. I love it going into the grand finals, because if they can come in first game, get some momentum, they're just going to continue to play like this.
I mean, they're 1 point shy of 100 points in 8 games now, or I'm sorry, 10 games, 11 games that we have. So that is pretty darn impressive at the international level. Here's the other APAC, scary APAC team, the Expendables coming in from that southern side. CBB team still in that split. They've got nobody really near them over here near the north. They've got good control over this road. We'll see if T1 goes anywhere near them, as you see Day Trade also in a little bit of a 2-2 split here on both sides of the valley.
A couple of teams we need to keep our eyes on pretty heftily is going to be Petrichor Road and Sonics. Sonics right on that cusp position with 2 games remaining. Very centered. They've got a 2-2 split of their own, so a lot of twos being involved in this conversation, but Control going to be going in as the circle does pop on top of them, still keep it pretty centered. Petrichor Road is just to the northwest of them, so 2 squads desperately needing points to try to make it into that top 16 in a good position for this game.
And Day Trade, they've been having a good day for themselves as well. We'll see if they can maybe collect something off of this, as they have a pretty centered up position on that high ground. Looks like Nurens and Flash are going to be able to rejoin the rest of the boys. Petrichor Road, meanwhile, they've got the compound, and it looks like everybody's going to be able to arrive in one piece, maybe? No, they lost one. So they lost Chewy.
I know AGG and the Expendables have really been trying to kill everybody in this lobby, but we've got 50 people alive in what's about to be a really small circle. The thing about it, though, is they still have that giant ridge line that's just to the west of Brickyard. You know, the giant, I guess, you almost want to call it like a peninsula of land that's just raised up there. So we have multiple areas of firefighting, different theories of firefighting if you look at it. So there's going to be the west, the top, and then Brickyard siding. And then there's still going to be just the area west of Monte Nuevo, which is just kind of a field. Means that this is going to be very, very complicated and contained fights, as we see it as BB team catching to the air.
Yep, and looks like E-Arena has spotted them out. Wonder where BB team is going to go here. It looks like they're going to find the lone solo player, Tiamba Linshu, as we see T1 take out Phil first. The rest of the boys are now landing right on top of Linshu. Linshu, you're on the clock, my friend. What can you do? He's going to find a doozy right off the bat.
Dares you to come in, but retaliation going to come through. He's going to go down, and a doozy should be resible in this position.
Oh, here comes CC, though.
They want it. Best of Luck's going to go down. That's a hard crash, but no! He took too much damage coming in, so it gets popped out of the vehicle.
It was Larix from E-Arena as well. It wasn't even BB Team. 7700, though, he's going to commit to this as well. Spiro down to about half HP. 7700 knows now to avoid the line of sight of E-Arena. Has going to have the flashbang, leads in. Oh, going to flash himself there just a little bit.
But guess who else is here? The Expendables here. This Colores was making a push in after Tiamba, so they had to run after this point. They don't have a choice. They're just having to throw themselves. Bodies on top of this, and BB team managed to survive, but it is very narrow.
Very well played there by Spiro, as that could have gone so badly, but he will manage to get Best of Luck back on his feet. Should be able to get a doozy as well. Yeah, BB team should be able to get back up to 3 strong. So the emergency pickup, desperate situation, but they managed to pull it off.
Sitting in 5th place right now, BB team has just kind of had a massive come up.
Huge day today.
I mean, they're just putting up tons of work, and they got close there, but it's still just a momentum game coming up from them. I want to point out as well, if you're looking at the map feed, we do have a 2-2 split for Danawa over on the opposing side of this one that's trying to keep out any movement from AGG. Trying to move around the brickyard. This is kind of calmed down except for, I guess, some controlling shots, making sure to go for anybody that's counter peeking. No big movement's going to happen yet. New circle, though, popping in just a few moments. It's just going to get wild.
Absolutely. We'll see how bad is it going to get. As, okay,
Ooh,
Sonics, they needed something. Petrichor Road as well. They've got the high ground. They've got a compound. They're looking fantastic. Day trade as well. As we see Donawa, they're playing the low side. They've got to worry about AGG off to their east, but it looks like GG has spotted them out. T1, meanwhile, already sending it, and they're going to run right just below Gaming Gladiators. It looks like Penn may be the only one really aiming over in that direction.
Here come our referees. It's going to be Day Trade, Sonics, and GG. Petrichor Road a bit more over to the west. Everybody else going to have to make a move in. T1 navigating over here, trying to regroup right on the edge of Monte Nuevo itself. You can see the territory that Danawa controls over here. It is the low side of the hill. It's going to be hard to navigate depending on how these next couple of circles come into play, but TSM making a couple of moves of their own, realizing how vulnerable they are. They're just going to go ahead and shift into the shack and do manage to sneak into it, as that was very nearly death.
Whew. Well, they were wiping the sweat off their brow after that one. That could have been way worse, as TSM will keep everybody alive. It seems like Luke should be able to get up pretty easily, and they're fairly center circle as well. So Luna Galaxy going to backfill TSM's previous position on that northern side. We'll have to keep an eye on them and see if they try to do anything desperate. Sonics still.
That window's a problem.
Yeah, just don't go near that window, guys. Just avoid it altogether.
Luke's just like, no, res me over here. This is what I want. The Expendables, guess what? Need to make a move inside the circle. And on approach, E-Arena, it's almost like they sense the death coming after them. They move down the hillside. The Expendables should find them compound. And I want to point this out. 12 teams, 45 alive, and a very awkward circle that's almost like half fields. But due to the terrain, most of these teams have managed to find ways to creep in here and should be able to survive.
Gotta tell you, man, it feels like just the fact that we lost 3 teams so early on has kind of opened up this circle a little bit more than a normally. I mean, this isn't a circle. This is a circle that we see pretty often, right? It's not a very rare one, but it is rare to have this much room to work with. So we're seeing the Expendables start to make their way up as we check the replay here. Larix popping CC 108 right out of the car. Boy, he shot about 10 feet over. And he gets pow too. What a Chad.
BB team appreciates that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just hear how quiet it is. And this is because of the terrain. Because that giant...
Nobody's shooting right
That
now.
giant rock that's in the middle, nobody has good vision. There's a couple of compounds that see the Expendables being the moving factor. Like, yeah, okay, shoot at us. Let us know where you are is kind of the vibe that they're going with.
Yeah, BB team more than happy to do so, as they've sent Spiro in to take spot in the zone, but they're going to hang out in their compound as long as they can up until the zone finally reaches them. Just gain a little bit more information. Again, remember, they pick up in to the bottom side of this circle, so they didn't have a whole lot of intel, but now they know a lot more than they did before. But do they know about day trade? That is the question as the new circle pops, and it will favor them a little bit, but you can see Day Trade starting to creep down there. They need to be careful.
Here comes E-Arena also on approach into the Expendables territory. They just saw Duck Juice make a rotation a second ago. They don't know exactly who it is that they're dealing with, but they know the fact that they might have a numbers advantage if they manage to push into this. Jacob playing back behind it, wants to try to contain. Delwyn is also playing separated away from the other members for the Expendables, so it's kind of a 2v3 at the directed time as the circle has now popped, moved a bit into the more centered position. So AGG trying to make a rotation. Danoa does have vision, but it's going to be a good retaliation in shots, and AGG is just vibing right now. It is going to be a Panzerfaust that comes out. Tycon trying to see if he can manage to make it around, but look at that. Danoa, good control on position.
Jeez, man. Deal. Stop trying to use Panzerfaust. You missed every single one so far, but you're managing to hit everything with your bullets. Just keep your AUG out, my friend. You are doing very well with that as AGG will finally, their reign of terror comes to an end.
While that was going on, the Expendables did kind of leapfrog into the circle and are now gatekeeping out E-Arena. E-Arena didn't get a chance to really just move into that firefight a moment ago. BB team trying to move in. It's going to be Nurens that's holding them out with this high ground. And see, Day Trade, they have a lot of control over the circle. It's just they've got the highest point in it and a lot of defended angles to really just exploit. It's really hard to play around that.
Yeah, this is rough for BB team. Down to just a doozy. Looks like the other two should get flushed out pretty soon. Here's Luna Galaxy going to try to make their move. They're going to crash right into the Petrichor Road compound. Summer is ready with the grenade in hand. We'll close the door. The grenade's going to find two, and he's going to find another one with the spray. Summer making it happen, but no, the last bullet from Posa as he has 1 HP left.
Kraken going to go ahead and maneuver in, see if they can get a second to maybe get Haven back up. The commitment coming up from Petrichor Road. They want Exlif back up for this firefight that they know is going to be coming in any given moment. Shots are going to come out. It's going to be Sonics that are going to be defending up. They've got that higher position. They're looking through. E-Arena has also spotted this out. They're maneuvering them down. They're trying to take a couple of shots. While we also have the Expendables counter moving next to that. Everybody getting a bit of vision on what's going on in this compound.
Yeah, E-Arena trying to, like you said, trying to get some better angles onto all of this, but they need to be careful because, as you said, the Expendables trying to put themselves in a better position. Petrichor Road, meanwhile, still trying to take out what's left of Luna Galaxy. Looks like they have two on their feet. Kraken, though, has taken a knock. And now the smoke wall will come out as the Molotovs continue to come in. Ixlef going to get taken out by Purdy Curdy, so that might open a door for Luna Galaxy if they're kill feed watching.
Trying to get in as much utility as they can. Exlef is down yet again. Ming just trying to make it in. Ooh, that was close. But Luna still managing to cling to life as, I wouldn't even call this a third party. This is like a fifth party at this stage. T1 did a counter move. They were forced away by the other shots from TSM right underneath of GG. So they are just clinging to life right underneath of them, trying to avoid the shots coming out from TSM and the high ground advantage and throwables that have just been rained on them by GG.
Everybody's dying to their own equipment here. Levante burns to death in his own Molotov, and Alpaca going to go down to his own grenade as it is hard trying to fight from a low ground to high ground here. And T1, they can't just focus all their attention on GG because they got TSM shooting them in the backs. So they have to be very, very careful about how they want to proceed with this. As now Dante's been knocked by Anonyx, so it's just down to Rocks and Pin.
Oh, we are looking at essentially mountain goat fighting all the way through this. This is going to be not inside the zone. They still need to shift more over to the west, but it's just going to be a very similar position as to this. Dano is coming up back behind what's going on with GG. That's a good thing for T1 as Pin is going to be the last member up looking into what's going to be going on with T1. He can't find the angle on it. Dano, who's been playing that low ground, defending so much what's been going on to the east, is now starting to make their way up in the west and controls, I'd say, about like, what, a quarter of the circle just in landmass, not even counting their firing angles.
Yeah, they need to open themselves up a pathway to get to that high ground, though, as Luke 12 will continue to rain some terror down onto T1, although Halo will take a knock from Zenith. As we can see, TSM playing around those windows. You've got to be careful, though, as you got Sonics and T1 both with angles, so they have to be very cautious. I feel like TSM losing a lot of armor in the process now as they are outside of the zone. You can see it's now encroaching. They've got to get a move on.
There's just so many targets. It's a very target-rich environment in front of them. They're taking some shots over in the Luna Galaxy, is forcing them into E-Arena while this is going on. Sonic's trying to defend up on that angle as well. Luna now forced into this firefight, not having too many options. Posa going for the spray into it. Does manage to get some assistance into it. Tigger is going to go down. Sonic's also getting the shots into TSM back behind. This is providing a bit more of an angle for Luna Galaxy to try to dance around. Kraken, last one up, trying to make it happen, is going to go down. The Expendables watching this at range because they could not get involved. They've got Day Trade right up next to them. TSM making the hard push in now, realizing T1's back behind them, but T1 still has the last member of GG taking shots right into their butt as they're trying to run in.
Pin making things happen for Gaming Gladiators here. A 1v1, he's getting shot by from Sonics, though he's gonna have to escape. No, Shrimzy will take him down, and T1 don't even have time to go for the reset. TSM has been keeping eyes on that kill feed. They know that if they're gonna survive, they've gotta push this now.
The dominoes are falling one after another as it's shift upon shift into this hillside, and Danawa continues to crest up, continues to get more control and force everybody to the opposing hillside. Now the collapse is all around Sonics and the positioning right next to them. TSM looking back on what's going to be coming, and you can see Danawa now in so much control. Look at what they're doing to everybody else in this lobby.
Just an absolute pin cushion for everybody in the lobby right now, as H-Win will be the one that finally takes him out. As Danawa still has that high ground. Purdy Curdy going to take some shots at Loki. Almost gets the knock, but Loki gets away just in the nick of time. E-Arena, though, continuing to wrap now towards the north, so TSM might be next on the menu.
Oh, TSM going to have a peak angle back into E-Arena. Sonics have been kind of hanging out in this position for a while. They've managed to pick up a pretty decent amount of kills, really propelling themselves up that leaderboard. Circles popping in a direction I think that we kind of all expected. No big deal one, no matter how this one played out. But Danawa, so much more control to assert in this one. But big factors. We still have TE up right next to last member for BB. Team's a doozy. E-Arena dancing over here into the west. Whichever way they go is how it's about to pop off.
Yep, E-Arena wrapping down to the side. You can see TSM just looking off in the distance. They have some of this ridge line to work with. They should be safe for the time being. Sonics will stay inside their compound. Meanwhile, E-Arena have arrived. They will find Delwyn, open things up just a little bit. Sizzy almost going down. And remember, you still have that wild card of a doozy that's hiding out in the compound.
Hikari is creeping up over here as well, so it is about to be a 4-team firefight all up on top of this approach that E-Arena is trying to go for, but there are some weakened squads inside of that one. 2 members up for TE right now, the last member with BB Team, as I was saying just a moment ago. The Expendables trying to make sure that they hold down their firing angles into it, but that means that they're in throwable range. They had to stop for a second, they had to go for some meds, and that means that they've lost control over this territory. E-Arena trying to exploit it, trying to maneuver in, got away from the firing line that Sonics had onto them, and H1, nice nade, gonna go ahead and cook it and finish off. So now here comes the push for E-Arena. They're gonna step in right into the firing lines, but look at that, Jacob. Beautiful peek around. Delwyn's gonna go down. Just one member up for TE as they are now getting a hard cover push on top of them. Hikari, Danawa, they hear this. They're already moving, pouncing right as soon as this finishes out.
Instantly going for the res on Jacob. While he's not, good eyes from Tigger. We'll find the second one, and that's going to be it for the Expendables. But as you said, Danawa, they have Hikari down here, but the rest of the gang still holding on to that high ground. Hikari just feeding that information over, and don't forget about a doozy. He could always pop out here at any moment and just wreck anything, wreck every team's really future here in this game here.
Oh, the blue zone took down Jacob.
The res came through too late.
Okay, so E-Arena now walking into the, I guess the den is the only way to call it. There is no clean pathing for them to deal with. Hikari's on one angle for it. Spray is going to come out. He is going to pick up the last member for E-Arena. So here we are. Sonics at 4, Danawa at 4, TSM with 1, and BB with 1. But a doozy is very, very close. Goes for Spray, but no! Hikari shuts it down.
What a turn from Hikari. That felt like he was dead to rights. They were not even expecting that solo player to come out, but Hikari, just an absolute man, takes care of him as now the circle will favor Danawa. They have the high ground. Sonics, they've got a nice little stack of kills, but they are in some serious trouble.
And now crossed 60-point threshold, starting to feel better moving into that last game, picking up 7 kills right now. How do they navigate this Danawa position like you're talking about, though? This is just so much control. They still even have Purdy Curdy that's back behind him waiting to backstab, even with a pan, maybe.
You never know.
Oh, and look, he's got his favorite gun, dude.
Oh, yeah. You know,
the squad killer.
Look, it's Purdy Curdy and accuracy through volume with the M249. Need a better combination here as he will stop down to try. Oh,
Blue Zone?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. He's still got that ridge line to work with, but yeah, Sonics, I think, realize the situation there.
I'm laughing. he's like, okay, we're gonna go. We're gonna go. I just need to see maybe 2 or 3 of them all at the same time. If that happens, life's good.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
They're very, very focused on Danawa. I'll be real. Danawa has pretty much got so much lockdown on this one. I don't even know if you could get a chance to take shots at the Sonics if they make a move.
There's just, yeah, I mean, there's not much they could do, but they could. You never know. They could pull off something miraculous here if they get a nice knock. Kurt tries to make the run for it, but it's not to be as Tiggleton will get that knock. And now we are down 4v4, Sonics versus Danawa.
Yeah, okay, so one building to work with, and you can see how easy it is to maneuver between buildings with the Danawa setup as Kurt went down just trying to get his foot inside of one of them. A couple of peeks, it's got to get a knock. That's the only thing that Sonics can do to get some type of movement out of this, and you can see that every single window peak is getting so heavily punished. They're at least dancing between an Anonix. Oh, look at him.
Problem.
He's reading exactly what they're wanting to do, maneuvering down. Doesn't have a ton of ammo, but with that type of gun, you don't need a lot. You just got to spot it. It does spot one. Sonic's in some trouble, and now it is just anything getting denied. He has been revealed, but it doesn't matter, man. The control angle's so strong. What are you even going to do? Sonic's, they're trying to step out. They're trying to find something to happen, but what are you going to... There's every angle you're vulnerable from right now, and it's just a matter of Danawa stepping in, closing this one out. They don't even care about blue zone. They're just walking in, realizing where it's going to be at, but is going to get spotted on somebody that's down. Goes for the spray, does get it. Anonix coming in bold, pays off. Now stepping back away, and Sonics, you are in some trouble. Reinforcements are coming to deal.
Boy, Anonix and wiping the Sonics at international competition, name a better combo. As they, oh, that's not what you want to see. But yeah, it feels like Sonic's pretty much done for here. As question marks over Gunner's head here.
Why are you running away? Why are you, look, that's all he wants. Why are you running away right now, Dan? Okay, look, we all know what's going on with that one. So waiting to see what's going on with the network connection inside of this one, as that was a pretty feisty ending moving into it, as it's the very tail end of the game that is,
Yeah. I mean, look, hey, Anonix put himself in the...
I feel a bit teased right now. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it almost happened yesterday, but fortunately got back in. But yeah.
Oh, wait, I saw a quick screen that popped up and said something about Danawa.
We're going to see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll let you guys know as soon as we find out. But as of right now, we're waiting for word on what we're going to do in this situation. But
as you can see, everybody is right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, either way, you talk about teams that needed a big game right there. Sonics absolutely needed a big game. They got one. Even if they did get second place there, 8 points, bare minimum, that's going to shoot them right up the chain. But the biggest thing about this game so far, Twisted Minds getting hot dropped by AGG.
Yeah.
New Happy as well going down early. These APAC teams that are having a good time, good day today, seem to be wanting to be really aggressive about making sure that grand final is as weak as they want it to be.
2 controlled hot drops off the start is just so scary for this one. And then we saw Danawa with the control in the later stages of the game. I mean, yes, the way that this all is playing out, it's not going to be too hard to imagine who would have won that, however that was going to go, but because Danawa just was, I don't know, they were foot pushing directly into the face of Sonics. That would pretty much let you know how it's going to end out. But it looks like the players are starting to maneuver over as we're trying to get some more information.